everybody, welcome back to another Some Sports Live. Today is a special day. It's the 100th season NHL playoffs. Right, Wilson? Okay, today, instead of just doing the Washington Capitals, we're doing all the teams in the first round, baby. Maybe the second, third, and fourth. We're not sure still, but let's get on. Wilson, are you excited? Sorry, buddy. The West is first. We have to respect them. Okay, first up is Minnesota Wild against the St. Louis Blues. Okay, Blues first. The Blues did lose their defenseman number 22, Kevin Shattenkirk, and TJ Oshie 2 years ago. But the Caps, the Blues have had a good and bad season at the same time. So they've only had a 2-game winning streak. Then we started. They had good times and bad times. For example, Alex Ovechkin's hat trick and Shattenkirk's last time against home in Verizon Center against the Caps in St. Louis. So Blues have had good and bad moments, but the Wild is having bad moments. The Wild is actually in a slump. Remember, they used to be in top for West, but Washington was there and Minnesota almost, I think they actually did, tied Washington. And now they go there, then there, then there, then there. Didn't get last. But the Wild is at a slump. And 2 years ago, Wild beat the Blues, actually. But in this round, I think the Blues are going to win in 6 games. And I think for the next one is a Stanley Cup champion winner. Go fans go, against a team that had a weakness in the first round. The Chicago Blackhawks against the Nashville Predators. Okay, Blackhawks first. The Blackhawks have had a good season this year. They're number 1 in the West, so they were actually with Washington. And they had three baby, players still playing. Go to the NHL website, you'll know why. And the top 100 best players, they are number 2, Duncan Keith. Number 88, Jonathan Toews. Number 88, Patrick Kane. Number 19, Jonathan Toews. They have a good season, but Curry Crawford comes. Crawford hasn't had that of a good season. They always look like they're good, but until that time when, they lost 6-0 against the Washington Capitals. I mean, the Capitals were in first, but it was 6-0. It could have just been 3-0 or 6-1. Why 0? Why 0? That's the part. So with Crawford is a good goalie. I'm not trying to be rude. He's a good goalie, but there's some of those bad goalie parts like Braden Holtby, Sergei Bobrovsky, Matt Murphy, Mike Smith, of course. And now to the Predators. Sorry, I didn't say much of Chicago. I'm running out of time. The Predators, Captain Fisher, the Suminator, Yoshi, and Johansson. Those players and the rest have had a good season with Nashville. Now that they're having a second period, it's like the second period is the third period, and it's running out of time. The Predators use what they could, get the break, and they score. They have a spectacular second period. So if you don't like the Predators and you like the Blackhawks, you better be afraid of the second period. That's when the Predators attack, because it's the middle of the game and there's still some left. And maybe the third period they're half good there, but the other team's try striking up and they do their empty net maybe and Nashville scores. But not always the second period works. It might work for that, but then in the next period they lose. Bummer, I know. I'm not one of those fans. I think the Blackhawks would win in 7 games. Sorry, PK. I'm very sorry. Next up, it's the Great Ones team against the San Jose Sharks. Yum. The Oilers haven't gotten in the playoffs for 11 years. That's more than our fingers, for crying out loud. Well, imagine Tom Wilson's my finger. They haven't gotten in the playoffs until this one man came last year. You might know his number. He's a center. 97, Connor McDavid, the Canadian. He has had a good season. 100 points, one single season. Like, he can catch up the fight, plays 900 more seasons, and does that, he could just have 1,000 in 9 years. And Ovechkin and Crosby started in 2005. That's over 9. So think what McDavid could do next. He could just be like the Great One. Believe me, guys. Believe me. I know what I'm talking about. But the rest of the Blackhawks, the rest of the Oilers, like Luke and Hopkinson, are good. And their goalie and their new coach that used to be from San Jose. So it's kind of funny. Old coach's team in the playoffs against. It's funny. Okay, the Sharks. The Sharks did get in the finals last year. First time in American history, baby. But this year, I think they're probably not going to have a good first round. Joe Thornton has been injured in the last 3 games, and Logan Couture too. I don't think they could play. And the Sharks, those are one of the good ones. The Sharks actually have other people that are injured, and it's sad because those are good players. San Jose is losing. They could lose in the first round against the Oilers. Well, go to hockey night in Canada and see. Next up is the Anaheim Ducks quack against the Calgary Flames. I'm on fire. Okay, Anaheim Ducks have had a better season this year with the best defenseman, Ryan Getzlaf, and Ryan Kessler. And it's their first season in 3 years, I think, without Frederick Anderson. According to my calculations, that's actually going good. The Ducks have had a good and bad season. Didn't have a lot of points. As you heard, the East is better than the West this season. But in basketball, the West is better than the East. It's kind of weird. The Ducks don't have snow that much. They quack when they lose. They celebrate when they win. But they have a good season with these players. I don't even know how spectacular it is. I have to do my research a lot. Okay, Calgary Flames. Well, they are a team of Canada, but they haven't gotten in the playoffs since 2015 because last year, all 7 teams of Canada did not get in the playoffs. It's incredible. Not even I could believe it. That's how Pittsburgh won. But the Flames have had a good season with Mark Garrido. I don't know. It's not right. And their goalie, their defensemen, their right wingers, left. They've had half the good season. The first half, it's hard. But the second half starts getting a lot better. Okay, Wilson. It's the East. Sorry, the Caps are last, buddy. Okay. In the East, it's the Penguins against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Boom. Okay, the Penguins have injured more than these. Nettie Malcolm, he's not just the only guy. It's also Chris Letang, and I think it's Chris Kunitz. I forget the first name, but they are injured, and maybe more. Sorry. And they have to get their team from the AHL like what they did in the finals. But last year, but that might actually help them. That's how they won. I saw this movie on YouTube. of the movie, how they won. They got in the AHL, got their favorite, best players. They got it. They got their coach there, and bam! 2016 Stanley Cup champions, Pittsburgh Penguins. Okay, the Penguins might have a lucky year with an AHL team. All right, to the Blue Jackets. Boom. The Blue Jackets, it's their first time in American history since they started in 2000 and 2001 that they got over 100 points. Bobrovsky, I'm not sure if he won the goalie trophy. We're going to learn that soon. Like when we made this video, we still don't know. So we can't just go to the future, upgrade the video. So, because it might be old. The first game's soon. He probably won't probably win the trophy for goalie tender. He's like the best, second best. Hope he's the best goalie. He has good games with their favorite guys, Brandon Saad, Henrik Lundqvist, and others. The Blue Jackets have had an excellent season until there was this game that started not giving them luck. The Washington Capitals against the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets had the second largest winning streak. If they won that game, they could have tied the Pittsburgh Penguins in 1990 and 92. Well, until they came to Washington, D.C., home of the champions, the Washington Capitals. Shut out, Bobkowski. Shut out. Well, I think the Penguins are going to win in 6 games. 7 doesn't matter, but Blue Jacket, it's been a tough year for them. It's a happy year, but sorry, Bobkowski. You're not getting that cup. You're not going to be like, oh, I want it next year. All right. Moving on is to our rivals. Right, Wilson? It is a team against the New York Rangers. It's the Canadians. All right. The Rangers had a good season. Not with Henrik Lundqvist. But their defenseman, captain, is injured. I think he returned, but remember, this video might be old. We don't know the future. But I think it is. But he's injured. He's injured. Henrik Lundqvist he's one of the best goalies, but he hasn't had that of a good season. Like, snap. And they haven't been so talented. Remember, this is the past. They haven't won in Madison Square Garden in over 8 games. Remember what I said. Over 8 freaking games. I can't even go to the games if I was a fan. The Canadians now. Now, the Canadians have gotten better than the last season. They gave up P.K. Subban for Shea Weber. They have John Scott, Carey Price. Let me tell you, Carey Price is one of the good goaltenders. Oh, Carey Price. I gotta be him. Well, I'm not a goalie. Too bad myself. Carey Price has had a good and awful season when he played against the Columbus Blue Jackets. It was 10-0. But since that, Carey has had a good season. The Canadians are going to be a tough team because they've been in first since the beginning in their division, since opening day till this season. They've been in first all year long. So they're going to be a tough team in the playoffs. They're not going to be easy. Canada Power. And it's the moment you have all been waiting for. Yay! It's the Ottawa Senators against the Boston Bruins. Roar. Okay, the Boston Bruins are the #1 hated team in the NHL. Brad Marchand is a heavy hitter. He was a racist to Joel Ward and P.K. Subban. Although Brad Marchand is good with Zach Chara Atumka, I don't say this first name good. Atumka Rask. I don't care. Rask. They've had a good season. The Boston Bruins had a better season than in the last 2 years. It's been 2 or 3 years that they haven't gone to the playoffs. Sad. I don't care because they're going to be a tough team this season. They were just behind the Canadiens, but they were snap. They were good. The Ottawa Senators with Erik Karlsson, that was in the February issue for Hockey News. I gotta be him. Erik Karlsson is a good defenseman for the Ottawa Senators, which is their captain. This season was a ceremony for Brian O'Murphy. Well, the Senators have had bad/good season. Erik Karlsson, captain, didn't win an award, but the Senators they're a good team. They're fast. Their defensemen are fast. Their centers are fast. Their wingers are fast. So in this game, I think it's going to be 4 games. It's the Ottawa Senators. And it is the actually moment you've been waiting for. The Capitals against the Maple Leafs. Okay, the Maple Leafs have had a good season with Austin Matthews. He's better than season, half better than Sidney Crosby, which is good because in his first season, which is this, he might win the Rookie of the Year. If he won't, it's probably Patrick Lane. I mean, don't talk about him. He is a snap. Austin Matthews has scored more goals than Sidney Crosby in his first year, which is good because I hate him. And he has had a spectacular season. And Frederik Andersen, I want to talk about. He started in Anaheim. I met him. I actually met him I did meet him, and I went to a Ducks game this season. I'm like, I didn't know if it was Gibson or Anderson. I knew because Anderson had the Lego head. And I knew he went to Toronto. Thank you for my coach. Shout out for Mike Visicardi and Henry Visicardi. Well, Leafs has had a good season. I think Matthews will probably score some goals, but Toronto fear the Wilson. Wilson has had a tough year. Like that time in Minnesota when he beat up that guy and then that guy punched him in the eyeball, then he got stitches in his birthday. But the Caps have a good season. Kevin Shattenkirk, TJ Oshie, Marcus Johansson, Nicholas Backstrom, Alex Ovechkin, and Evgeny Kuznetsov. And Braden Holtby. They've had a spectacular season. But the Caps don't always have that good time. They do have the number 1, second best goalie. Sometimes they switch. Philip Grubauer. He is good. But I don't think that's going to help Washington. Washington still needs those short-handed goals. The short-handed goals, I shouldn't say this. I don't want people in Canada to hear this from Toronto, but they might do a lot of short-handed goals. And if they do that, Holtby's got to stop it a snap. And Frederik Andersen, he just did that. And their secrets of the Caps is probably, number 26. I don't know. Daniel Winnick? Yes, Daniel Winnick has had a spectacular season with the Caps. First year. I think he was at Toronto, Winnipeg, or Montreal. I really don't care and I don't know. But he is the Capitals' secret weapon. Well, that's about it, fans. Please comment down below and remember, subscribe, and we will do NBA if we get 10 views and at least 2 subscribers. Goodbye.